Hi, I'm back again. This is Roxy Rose. I'm doing another video. This video is not about transitioning late in life, sorry to say. I wish they could all be like that. It's a little bit of an update regarding divorce. And I'm sure that everybody has those horror stories and terrible stories about their divorce. But there's a few people that have been emailing me and even calling me wanting to know if I was okay and where I've been. And I'll tell you that I eat, sleep, and dream divorce. For the last month or two, it's just been horrible and very difficult. And basically, I've had to confront this all alone because, as you know, I have no family to speak of to lean on or confide in, really. So anyway, so you're my family, so I'm talking to you. So the story I have to tell you is quite funny, kind of like getting hit in the funny bone with a sledgehammer, that kind of funny, you know. My spouse, or soon-to-be ex, and I were trying to do this divorce amicable. And we both had the mindset, you know, people do horrible things, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do this kind of sane and amicable and maybe even because, you know, remain friends. Well, anyway, so this story is my spouse and I had an item we wished to sell on eBay. It was quite a large item and it sold for a fair amount of money. We were happy with it. And the thing is it was quite large, and we thought, well, we didn't really want to trust a shipper, so I stepped up and said, well, I could deliver it, even though it was in Austin, Texas, and I'm here in Southern California. Well, that's 1,600 miles away. But I said, well, I'll go ahead and do it as long as I'm compensated for gas and a little bit of my trouble. It won't pay any money, but I'll do it, and I'll feel better about it. We both agreed. And I knew it was going to take at least a week, maybe 10 days to get there and back. You know, if I have a few days to myself to enjoy the place. I've never been to Austin, Texas, and I wanted to see it. But first I went up to Oregon because I had a hearing for my divorce that I had to show up at. And when I got up there, my spouse suggested, let's do this amicable. Let's write up an agreement between ourselves and let's go get it notarized. I'll have my lawyer write it up legally, we'll present it, and we'll be done. And this will be quick and easy. And I thought, well, let's try that. So we sat down for a couple days and hammered all the ideas out and what she'd get, what I'd get. And we wrote it all down and then finally ended up going to a notary public with it all written up. And Patty signed, my soon-to-be ex signed, and I signed, and we had it done. And I said, are you sure? And she said, yes. And so I left Oregon and came back to Southern California and prepared to deliver that item to Austin, Texas. Meanwhile, Patty, my soon-to-be ex, was supposed to go see her lawyer, have it all legally written up, which... So I called before I left to Texas. I said, Patty, you know, did you go see your lawyer? She says, oh, I couldn't get a hold of him. He's in court and he wouldn't talk to me. But don't worry, she said, you know, go ahead to Texas and I'll get it taken care of. And I thought, and we were talking really nicely at the time, and I thought, okay, I'll do that. So I ran out to Texas. It took me a couple days to get there. Meanwhile, I've been calling my soon-to-be ex, you know, each day saying, did you get a hold of your lawyer? Are we on track? And she kept assuring me that we're on track and that she couldn't talk to him and that not to worry. Well, I got to Austin, Texas. The delivery went fine. I managed to meet with some friends down in Austin, Texas, and they took me to a place called 6th Street. Oh my God, that is the best place to go. If you ever go to Austin, Texas, don't miss the 6th Street. It's quite an event with music, live bands playing in every location. Oh, it's great. We had a lot of fun there. But the thing is Austin, Texas is a bit hot at this time of year, and it's very humid. And I just was melting, and I was exhausted from the drive, and for some reason something was telling me to come back home. So I turned around after I had a day or two in Austin. I turned around and just came right back home. And I did all the driving myself. So that's like 3,200 miles round trip. And I got home on the 3rd, which was a Sunday. And actually it was a Saturday night. And no. I got home on Saturday night, which was the 2nd. And then on the 3rd, which was Sunday, I got up in the morning. And I was feeling kind of rejuvenated. Even though I was exhausted from the drive, I was thinking, I'm really going to move on with my life. The divorce is going to go through. I should be single by the end of the week. We have an amicable settlement. Even though I wasn't really thrilled with the settlement myself, I thought, I'm moving on. And it felt so relieving to finally feel that way. Anyways, so by around noon, I finally got myself out of bed. And I went to the post office and collected my mail. And I thought, well, I'm just going to zip on out to the mall, which is about an hour away. And I started reading, as I was driving to the mall, I was reading my mail. There was one letter in there from Patty's attorney, and I thought, oh boy, I better read this. Well, I was 20 minutes down the road, south of my house. And I read the letter, and oh my God, my jaw just dropped. It was a letter saying that the contract that Patty and I had signed was completely unadmissible in court, blah, blah, all this legal mumbo-jumbo, and I'm not very legally minded. And anyways, basically, it said that I had to show up in court on the 4th. Mind you, this was the 3rd. It was noon on the 3rd, and I was driving south. And I called my soon-to-be ex, and I said, what is this that I have? I'm supposed to show up on the 4th. And she says, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a form letter. I said, Patty, it says that contract is null and void. And this letter that was written up by her lawyer was 2 days after we had written up the notarized one, which meant that she went and saw her lawyer but said she couldn't. So I knew I was getting screwed here. And I said, Patty, are we going to live up to that contract? And she says, well, in a kind of a smug way, she says, well, I'm thinking about it. She knew she really had me. She thought she really had me. In fact, she thought I was still in Texas. I said, Patty, I am coming up to Oregon tonight. And I turned the car around, and I got back home, and I repacked because I had unpacked everything, threw the luggage in the car. By 2 o'clock, I was on my way up to Oregon, but that's 800 miles. So I had to drive through the night in order to get there the next day in court. And it even gets worse, you see, because I had to talk to Patty, and we got an amicable settlement, and we had this contract. I never retained a lawyer. So Monday morning, as I'm driving to Oregon, at 9:30, I started calling lawyers. Well, luckily, and this is just fate, I really do think that fate was on my side, or luck, and you know what they say, the harder you work, the luckier you are. I live by that. Anyway, so I got a hold of a lawyer that I really liked, that I had talked to before. And it turns out his schedule was completely booked, but he was there. And I talked to him, and he remembered me. And so basically I said, what's it going to take? How much money do I have to give you? So basically I ended up just throwing money at this guy. And he said, okay, I'll take the case. And he showed up with me in court. I was thrilled. Oh my God. Like I said, it just was something like fate. So I ended up going to Oregon, got the lawyer, showed up in court. Boy, was I exhausted from all that driving. It just drove me crazy. Now, the story even gets worse. Patty's unethical lawyer goes to court that morning before she knew I was coming up there, so she informed her lawyer, so they ran to court and got a default early that morning, as soon as the courts opened, which was really unethical, because even in his letter it said that I had till the 4th to do this. So it's really like they were trying to pull a fast one. Anyways, he also claimed that, and he wrote this in writing, which was a big mistake. He claimed that he had my consent for the default, which is just a lie. So now he is really backpedaling. We have, with my lawyer, we went to court, and we have a motion to set aside the default, and we're even possibly going to seek some disciplinary action from the Bar Association against this lawyer for his unethical behavior, because I am well within my right to pursue him on those grounds. And then if he gets admonished by the judge, especially if it's the same judge that happens to be hearing our divorce case, and it's a really tiny town, so the likelihood is very high that that will happen, then that puts him on a really big disadvantage. But oh my God, what an amazing turn of events. Now, the good news is, a couple weeks have passed. Patty, or my soon-to-be ex, has found out that their behavior was unethical, and that possibly her lawyer is going to get charged with something. And now she is really apologetic, and surprisingly, she's being very reasonable and open to an agreement. Anyways, we're back on track. All that, and now we're here back on track. Tons of money spent on lawyers, but now we're back on track. We have the original agreement up in front of us, and we're supposed to sign it today. Oh my God, I'm excited again. But don't get your hopes up, Roxy. Who knows what the heck can happen in this world? So we're supposed to sign that today, and then possibly by the end of the week, or the first part of next week, I will be legally single and completely in a legal arrangement as far as the divorce settlement goes. I just have to take a breath. But you know what? My story of divorce is probably very simple and very sane compared to a lot of people out there that go through divorce. Oh, and another thing. This is what my soon-to-be ex said, and this is a quote. Okay, so she says, Roxy, when we were still fighting back and forth regarding the settlement, she said, Roxy, every guy I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot, and I think she's referring to Guy in a reference to me. She says, every guy I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot, that have gone through a divorce, are left with nothing. And she says, that's just how it is, Roxy. That's just how it is. And I thought, wow, shame on you. You know, it's amazing what people think, really. Well, shame on her. I have the upper hand right at the moment, and I just want this over, really. I really do. Just want it over. Anyways, this has been Roxy Rose giving you a little update. Yes, I'm crazy. Hopefully by the end of the week I'll be uncrazy if this divorce settlement goes through. So I have another video to make after this one, which I'm going to do. It has to do with transitioning late and facial feminization surgery, which is coming up for me. So look for my next video, because I'm going to make it as soon as I'm done with this one, I promise. Let's see. Oh, you know, I was pushing the Mature Trans Sister Facebook site, and you could do that. I don't know how to run it, so I've been really, I don't know, kind of spinning my wheels there. But hey, if you want to become my friend on Facebook, you can find Roxy Rose on Facebook. Email me with your comments, myroxyrose@gmail.com. That's MYROXYROSE. At gmail.com, or send a comment through YouTube, however you choose. Now, on a personal note, for those, I'm in Southern California, and for those multi-talented T-girls out there, I am trying to get together a band, and yours truly, Roxy Rose on percussion. I'm hoping to find a few T-girls out there because I'd like it to be an all-girl band. You know, the genre may be something we could work on, but right now I'm kind of really liking the 70s and 60s surf music. So perhaps if you know of any T-girls in the Southern California area that want to get a band together, please let me know. Okay, so I hope to see you again on another video, and have fun, and I'll try and get some more videos. Look for them. Bye-bye.